I think we can get started.
Yep.
All right, thank you, commissioners. We do have quorum, so we'll go ahead and get started. This is the County of Hawaii Transportation Commission's Mass Transit Agency Quarterly Meeting for June 24th, 2025. We're gonna have start with roll call. If I could have all the commissioners and department heads, please introduce yourself. We'll start with online, Chelsea, Rose, and Christy.
Good morning. I'm Chelsea Ahern. I'm in Kona.
Good morning. Hello. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Rosalind Molina. I reside in Kona as well.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christy Cruz. I'm District 5.
Thank you, Christy.
Lloyd Matsubara, District 9.
And I'm Matthew Turlip, District 1. Commissioner.
And good morning, folks. I'm Zach Burgum, Acting Administrator for Mass Transit Agency.
Daisha Jenica-Boyes, Secretary for Mass Transit.
And Deputy Corporation Counsel Sinclair Saws Ferguson here to advise the board.
Oh, Calvin Kohatsu, Managing Director of Hawaii Transportation Association. I live up in Waikiauka.
Great. We do have an applicant online as well. I don't think there's any other public here to testify or online. So if there's nobody else, close call to order. Is that part of roll call?
I think maybe maybe you want to take things out of order and go with the statements from the public, see if there's any testimony.
Yeah. All right, we are going to jump through the agenda to new business. We're going to review Sunrise Taxis. Sorry.
Probably want to do this first, just to clear that.
Let's jump to agenda 5, statements from the public. Testimony, interested persons who want to provide any oral testimony or any agent or agenda items may do so now or at the time the specific agenda item is called. Public testimony may be limited to up to 3 minutes. If we have anybody willing or want to submit any testimony, we can do that now.
If there's no statements,
If there's no statements, we can go ahead and move on to the next agenda item.
maybe do minutes and then the business, and then we'll do this one before the report, the training.
Next agenda item, and I apologize for jumping around. We're just going to see if we can get through the agenda items. We need the motion to approve our minutes from our March 24th, 2025 quarterly meeting. So if I could get a motion to approve.
All motion.
If I get a second.
Second.
All right, motion is passed to close
Discussion, any discussion?
Yeah. Is there any, before we approve, is there any discussion?
No discussion, call for a vote.
No discussion, we'll call for a vote.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed.
Did Ahern say anything?
Aye.
I
I think that's everybody. Okay, minutes have been approved.
And do you have both these guys here?
I think we have one of them here.
The new applicant, yes. Revocation, no, it's not here.
Okay, so maybe do 7, then 6, and then we'll do 3.
Okay, we're gonna jump to agenda 7 on new business. We're gonna review Sunrise Taxis application for a new certificate of public convenience and necessity to operate in the county of Hawaii. Tom Cruise is on with us via phone. And if you have any commissioners, if you have any questions for him, you can open that to discussions now. His application was provided in the packet.
I got it. I'll motion to approve.
Okay.
No, if there's no further discussion, we'll go ahead and approve the motion and open to a vote to approve Mr. Diaz's application. Could I get a aye or nay from everyone?
Aye.
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 Aye as well. All right, motion to approve Mr. Diaz's application is approved. Mr. Diaz, thank you for submitting your application. It was approved.
Well, thank you so much for the approval, sir. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mahalos.
All right. So now it's this. Yeah, he's free.
Tom, if you'd like, you can hang up now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, sure.
Appreciate you the best. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care, Tom. Bye.
Aloha. Bye.
All right, we're gonna move on to agenda 6, old business, hearing for the revocation of certificate of public convenience and necessity, certificate number CH 622, issued to Brandon Henson, DBA BH Taxi, for failure to renew his taxi cab license by June 30th, 2024. The floor is open to discussion.
Did he return and get everything filed and
No,
okay,
I spoke with him last week and he didn't have his documents ready. So I let him know about the meeting that his license would be revoked, and then when he's ready, he would just have to apply again.
okay. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna motion to just
Either, so somebody can make a motion to revoke
yeah, okay,
based on failure to renew, and then second, and then discussion.
okay. I'll motion to revoke.
Second.
Okay, we have a second, so we'll move to a vote to,
Always gotta ask if there's any discussion.
okay. Is there any more discussion on this matter?
No, he knew what he
No.
had to do.
Okay, then we'll take a vote to revoke his license.
Aye.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well.
Rose, I didn't hear her.
Aye.
Thank you, Rose. Motion has passed to revoke his license.
So then we can go to number 3.
All right, we're gonna go back up to number 3, questions from commissioners on parliamentary procedures and a brief overview of the sunrise law and ethics from the deputy counsel.
So does anyone have any questions regarding parliamentary procedure? Anyone online?
No, is it important? Does it pertain to anything that we're doing currently?
Yes, it does. It pertains to how you run your meetings. It's the order that you guys do business.
Okay.
Does anyone, are you guys all familiar with this parliamentary procedure?
I think in general, I think a lot of us have just tried to go with what has been the standard practice, but I think formally, we would just need to get to understand the casting of each motions and the steps. That's
So,
right.
Yeah, maybe I'll just give you guys a brief overview of this question. So,
There are revision current law.
so right now we're talking,
Best legislature session topic.
there's many, but so sunshine law is a separate topic, but let's just talk about parliamentary procedure real quick. I'll just give you guys the basics so you guys can have some order going forward. So parliamentary procedure is, has everyone heard of Robert's rules?
Yeah.
So I'll just give you 5 minutes on parliamentary procedure. Robert's rules. Chelsea, could you mute your Zoom? Because there's like a, there you go. Thank you. Parliamentary procedure is what Robert's rules. It's pretty much the same thing, and it's these rules that were created to provide for an orderly meeting, and so that everybody would be provided an opportunity to speak to each item without any interference from other members or anyone else. So you're all been appointed to provide your objective, candid opinion on certain items. So for your guys' agenda, um, so I'll just kind of walk through it, kind of how parliamentary procedure would play out with your guys' agenda. So I guess the first principle is that, you know, the chair runs the meetings, he provides for the orderly meeting, but it's also the commissioner's responsibility to ensure that parliamentary procedure is followed as well. So it's pretty simple in a nutshell. You know, call the order, start the meeting. A roll call typically would be a secretary calling Commissioner Blank, are you here? Commissioner Blank, are you here? Present. So then, and then it depends, you know, every commission is different, but typically the secretary would say, Chair, you have a quorum for the meeting, and then Chair would say, we have a quorum for the meeting. And then you would go through each agenda item. Sometimes you, like today, we took agenda items out of order just for the, you know, to get this guy so he doesn't have to wait on the phone forever. You guys, so this board can only take an action if 5 members vote in favor of something. So like, let's say we had the old business, we'll just use that as an example. You guys are hearing on a revocation or whatever. So typically the person would come in and say, hey, I applied for this or whatever, and this is why I want the taxi license, but it looks like you guys received an application, you've reviewed the application. And then the standard for you guys to grant that is that you guys have to hold a public hearing to determine whether there is a need for operation and service. And this is under Chapter 18, Division 3, Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity. So that's the standard you guys are looking at to determine whether there's a need for that taxi cab license. So to start the discussion, somebody would make a motion. I make a motion to approve the taxi cab license. And so if no one's making a motion, chair would ask for a motion. You know, can I get a motion to approve or deny the taxi cab application? Somebody would make that motion, chair will ask for a second. Can I get a second? And somebody will second. And when somebody makes that motion, chair typically will repeat that motion. Okay, Commissioner Cruz has made a motion to accept the application and approve it. Is there a second? Okay, Commissioner so-and-so has seconded it. Now the motion on the floor is to approve. Is there any discussion on this matter? And then if somebody wants to talk, they either raise their hand, or like at county council, they have a button you press for the microphone and it has a light that signals, hey, I want to say something on this matter. I think on Zoom, people will press the raise the hand button. So we got to pause while Rose has left the room because we got to have 5. There we go. So, and so then the chair will recognize who wants to speak. Okay, Commissioner Ahern, go ahead, and then you'll talk. And whenever a commissioner is talking, you're not talking to the other commissioners, you're talking to the chair. So parliamentary procedure prohibits and discourages crosstalk amongst commissioners so that you guys don't lock eyes and get into a fight. Not like you guys have that problem here, but other commissions do. And so another basic of parliamentary procedure is that if there's no motion, like if the chair is like, can I get a motion on this? And no one motions, then it dies. Maybe he gets somebody makes a motion to approve it and there's no second, then it dies. So to do any action, you need a motion, a second, discussion, and then 5 votes. And that's pretty much the basics of parliamentary procedure. Does anyone have any questions on that?
Yeah, I have a question. When you say it has to go in front of a public hearing, would this meeting be considered that because it's a public meeting?
Yes, this is what you guys are doing. So I don't know, did you guys get training on Chapter 18?
No.
So maybe
Got thrown right
in
in.
the Yeah, maybe in the future, you could ask Susanna just for a training on what you guys should be considering when you're hearing a request for a taxi cab license, the standard. It's pretty simple. But yeah, so that this is the public hearing. So usually you'd want to hear from the applicant and hear what they have to say, but yeah, so is there any other question? Does that answer your question, Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Any other questions from anyone? So that's parliamentary procedure. And it's basically chair recognizing who wants to speak, restating the motion stating who made the motion, stating who made the second, then restating the motion, asking for discussion, allowing discussion. If there's no discussion, there's a few ways you can call for the vote. Typically, for non-contentious things, you just say all in favor, say aye, and then everyone says aye. And then you'd say anyone contrary minded, I've heard say, or any in opposition, no one in opposition, the motion carries. And then you move on to the next thing. You have to state that the motion carries.
Okay.
And there's so that's it pretty much. So then I'll just give you guys a really quick kind of basics of what the Sunshine Law is. The Sunshine Law is state law that requires that all boards and commissions in the state of Hawaii conduct all of their business at a public hearing. So the state law, the intent is so that you guys do all of your business in the public, so they can see what you guys are doing. They can have an opportunity to provide statements or provide their input, their comments, and that all of the board's discussion happen at the meeting. So there's some exceptions to that. So two board members can talk about board business outside of a meeting, but they cannot make an agreement to vote. So for you guys, like, I don't know if it's ever necessary because you guys aren't dealing with, you guys' jurisdiction is really narrow, right? Approving or denying and these requests or revoking. But an example would be like, hey, what about this revocation of this guy's tax license for not renewing? You guys are supposed to have that discussion at the meeting, but if two members want to talk about it before the meeting, they can talk about it before the meeting, but they can't make an agreement to vote. So like you two could say, hey, what do you think about this application? I think it's kind of funny, like you didn't do this or did that, or is it necessary? I feel like we got too many applications over here. You guys can talk about it, but you can't say, I'm going to vote this way. Well, how are you going to vote? You can't discuss how you're going to vote, just talk about it. And that's called a permitted interaction. So there's a few limited situations where board members can talk about board business outside of a meeting. And that's kind of, the really basics of Sunshine. There's exceptions. So in the meeting's held in the open. You guys can go into executive session for limited purposes. The most common one is to ask your attorney about your powers, duties, privileges, and immunities. Like, hey, what's our authority regarding this? To only ask legal questions. And I think that's pretty like the real basics for Sunshine. If you guys want a more in-depth training, I think you can ask Susanna for that in the future. And if you ever have a question about Sunshine Law, you can always ask me or whoever is the attorney here right now. Like if you guys had a question about Sunshine Law, we could go into executive session and I could advise you on that. But that's pretty much the basics. Does anyone have any questions about Sunshine Law? Is that too much or not enough?
No, I think too much is what we were hoping for, just so we get a good foundation built as we continue, as a board. So
Yeah, I think you guys will it's pretty much conducting all of your discussions at the meeting. Any questions online? And then if you guys do have questions, just ask us, ask your attorney if you have a question about it. And then the other thing was ethics. Did anyone have a specific question about ethics? Did you guys get training on ethics?
I'm
Commissioner
not
Cruz?
sure. I need to go and get ready. My daughter's in the hospital. I have to take a flight, so I'm
shoot.
just wondering how long more I need to be present.
Well, we can wrap this up,
Yeah, I mean, we can continue the,
because we can't continue without you.
well, you can take, the presentation. We can still take the presentation from the acting director. So you gotta leave,
Why don't you ask her how long she has?
you have to go, Commissioner Cruz.
Yeah, I need to get ready so I can go to the airport.
When, right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you gotta go, you gotta go.
She's getting to the hospital. I get it.
Just push that to,
It's okay.
Yeah, we'll continue it.
okay. Oh, can we continue without her? Or
We can,
we'll
so,
just push it to the next?
I mean, we can still take in information, but you guys can't vote on anything or anything like that.
I don't think we have anything else to vote on.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think we have
just,
anything else.
Mass Transit just has to do their
It's
presentation.
informative, so.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll get the update with the minutes.
thank you, Christie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels.
So I can, so like when you guys don't have quorum, you can take in presentations, you can take in information, and you can ask factual clarifying questions.
We just can't vote.
Can't vote or discuss, can't discuss either. So maybe, do you guys want a quick little overview of ethics, or you wanna,
Sure, yeah, no, as long as the other commissioners are okay with it.
I'm fine.
So you guys are all, subject to the county code of ethics. Did you guys get a training yet on that? So I'll give you a quick summary and then you can ask Susanna for a more in-depth training, but the county, all employees or appointed commissioners in the county are subject to the county's code of ethics, and it's, in a nutshell, it's basically gifts. So if you get a gift, you gotta look at that. You might have to report that gift. I don't think any of you are getting gifts. If you are, let Susanna know. You're prohibited from taking action on something that would affect a family member. So for example, if you had a family member who submitted an application, like a father or brother or a son for a taxi cab license, you couldn't act upon that. You'd have to recuse yourself. The other kind of basics of our county ethics code is that you can't use your county position to get any influence or anything extra. Like you cannot use it basically to get anything extra. Like, hey, I'm a county commissioner. Can I get a free bus ride or whatever? You're in, San Diego or whatever. But you can, like, there's certain exceptions to that, right? There's certain, I don't know if it applies to you guys, but there's certain discounts that government employees get for like their cell phones and stuff like that are offered to all government employees, but you cannot get or seek to get anything extra for yourself based on your position. That's that part in a nutshell. And then there's another provision that always comes up, and that's county employees, officers, commissioners are required to treat everybody in a fair and courteous and impartial manner. So you have to be nice to everybody and treat everybody fairly. And I don't see you guys having any issues with that, but that comes up a lot with like people complaining about county employees being rude or giving somebody something and not giving them that same treatment or whatever. And so that's kind of ethics in a nutshell. And I'll tell Susanna when she comes back to send you guys a copy of the code of ethics so you can review that. And something on the Sunshine Law and some basics on parliamentary procedure. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, just ask us. Does anyone have any questions about ethics?
Yeah.
No.
So, Chair, can we take a quick break? I just want to make sure that I know the parameters for having the meeting when we don't have a quorum.
Sure. We'll go ahead and take a 5-minute break, if that's okay.
Okay. Board members, I guess we can start again, and I'll just read this to you.
Okay, we'll reconvene.
Board members present at a meeting that must be canceled for lack of quorum or terminated pursuant to 92-3.5 is 92-3. Sorry, I'm researching this on the fly. 92-3. So we don't have a quorum. May nonetheless receive testimony and presentations on items on the agenda and question the testifiers or presenters. So you're going to be a presenter. So they can question you on, provided that deliberation or decision making on any item occurs only at a duly noticed meeting of the board held subsequent to this meeting. The member shall create a record of the oral testimony or presentation, which is the minutes. And then if you wanted to make any decision making, which you guys aren't going to do any decision making,
No.
so yeah, you can just present and you guys can ask clarifying questions, and then that'll be it.
Okay.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
All right, we'll move on to the next agenda item for Mass Transit Administrative Report. Agenda 8.
Yep, good morning again, Zach Burgum, Acting Administrator for Mass Transit. So yeah, my report's really just informational, but yeah, please ask questions if you have them and I can help clarify. But starting at the top one, Rose, thanks for our last meeting. You know, you brought up about, you know, time delays and whatnot of our bus service when it comes in regards to Hilton Waikoloa. So we've been looking at that. You know, just making sure, you know, that we're, you know, servicing the community for what we need to be doing. We definitely, you know, acknowledge that our system is not perfect. Our buses are, you know, not perfect. We knew we operate old buses and sometimes there is delays. But looking at the schedule, you know, we pulled up the past couple of weeks and kind of just looked at different times for when the bus arrives at the location versus departs. Doesn't look like there's any early departures, which we definitely would not want. You know, a bus pulling up early, leaving early. You know, if anything, the buses are pulling up a little bit late due to delays, and then departing after the passengers are picked up. But thank you, Rose, for bringing that up as a topic at our last meeting, because we've been looking at that closely.
I actually have another concern that was brought up to me.
Yeah, what do you got, Rose?
So I have the Manalani Bay Hotel. The bus used to go inside the resort, but now
Well, I'm
it's
sorry,
just.
Rose. That's just more discussion, so you can only.
Oh, I can't bring that up.
You
Okay, next
can
meeting then.
present.
I'll bring that up next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Sorry.
But yeah, definitely we'll talk about it next time then, Rose. Thank you. The next one I got on the agenda was the taxi cabs. So we kind of talked about this last time. Remember, there was a question about taxi cab and the year of a taxi cab being renewed. And there was, you know, some concerns about that. So just wanted to briefly kind of talk about that. The year of a taxi cab is not a requirement, but what a person needs to do yearly to get their taxi cab in compliance is there's a form that they would be doing. And so I'll just kind of read this form. This inspection form must be completed by the Hawaii County Motor Vehicle Control Office before a taxi cab license will be issued by the Mass Transit Agency. And basically what this this form will do, it's an 8-step process, but it goes through a number of things, whether it's the permit is visible to passengers, the fare schedule is visible to passengers, the bilingual complaint notice is visible, and then as the vehicle meets the cleanliness and safe requirements for operating as a taxi cab. So just wanted to touch on that, but yeah, the year is not a requirement. So I just wanted to touch on that because that was a topic at our last meeting. The next thing on the agenda is the Fare Free program, which currently has an end date of December 31 of this year. So currently I'm looking at submitting a bill to continue Fare Free for a 2-year period. So it would go from December 31, 2025 to December 31 of 2027. And so why is, the whole point of this too is to be able to provide transportation services to this island in the most fair way as possible. And so we have fixed route buses, we have paratransit buses, but one element that we're lacking is a program called micro transit. A lot of these buses can go on these main roads, but when it comes to different associations, our buses are too big, they're too heavy. We're not allowed to operate on these roadways. Just for example, there's some in Orchid Land. Okay, so we can't operate on them. So therefore, we have to encourage people to hike, get a ride, however they make it out to the main roadway, which is miles in some examples for these people to get to the main highway where our fixed route buses are. Micro transit, basically, these are vans essentially. They're a little bit bigger than a paratransit van, but essentially they'll stay in these areas and they'll go and grab these folks and bring them out to the nearest official bus stop, drop them there so they can catch the bus going to town or wherever they're going to go. That van would then stay within that area. So that's kind of the whole concept. There's going to be a lot of things that will play into that. It's a whole program. So the entire program will need to be written, as well as another program manager will need to be hired with Mass Transit Agency. But that's kind of the vision with that, along with, when it comes to just Mass Transit Agency in general, we also need to reevaluate where things are. We need to be able to look at ridership and make sure, because yes, we have 23 routes that we service, but within those 23 routes, there's numerous runs, maybe 3 or 4 runs within each route in a 24-hour period. So another thing that we're looking at is ridership. We're looking at, does it fit into the master plan? So there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that topic right there. But the short of it is submitting a bill to county council for approval to extend that for a 2-year period, and then we would go back to fares. So that's where we're at with that. As for the new report for the next item on the agenda, the inspection of its Gillig buses and ProMaster vans. So right now we have just on Friday we actually got the 3 of the 4 battery electric Gillig buses. They're at the base yard currently. They're here in Hilo with us. And then the last one, the 4th one, will be here next month in July. The ProMaster vans were also conducted, that inspection. Both of these inspections were conducted in California. And so this was all kind of one trip that we did. We sent our transit program manager out there, or sorry, the transit fleet and facility manager out there with a mechanic, and they conducted these inspections on site. The reason why we do these inspections on site is if something needs to be adjusted on a bus, it's better to do that when the bus is on the line, because if maybe there's a camera that's in a wrong spot, maybe it's a blind angle or whatever the case may be, it's easier to do it when the bus is on the production line to have it moved to another location. Because once a bus is in Hilo and we notice that issue, it's a lot bigger of a process to go get that corrected at that time. But so we did that. And so also the ProMaster vans, those are going to be used for paratransit services. And that's 7 of those. And they're going to be arriving in July and then trickling in over the next couple of months after that. So as you know, we have 7 paratransit vans currently here on Big Island. This is really going to help out big time because nothing but ridership has been growing when it in regards to paratransit. The next item on the agenda we had listed was the Mohili senior housing bus shelter. So Mohili didn't have a bus shelter for years. And so Route 104 would go up and service that area, and it's just been needed. We also did a town hall meeting with the community in Hilo, and that was also a really big ask, right, and concern. So we wanted to put a bus shelter there, and that was completed in April. So they now have it there for use. The next thing on the agenda was Title VI training, which prohibits discrimination based on race, color, national origin, and programs and activities that receive federal funding that include transportation. So this is something that we did in May. We had our human resources department come and meet with us. This was kind of a big training evolution. We had Roberts Hawaii management, we had MTM management. We also had our security teams that work within our agency there, as well as our MTA employees as well. So this is just something that we want to just reinforce because, well, it's important. And we're also going to incorporate that into our yearly trainings that we do every single January, where we shut down services for Hele-On and what we do, where we gather everybody in the room for this training once a year in January, and not just include ADA, but it will also be Title VI training going forward. The next item on the agenda was the participation in a zero emission conference. As I stated a little bit ago, we have 3 of the 4 battery electric Gillig buses here. And so a big part of this has been understanding our way forward with going green and running battery electric buses, because there's a lot more than just to say, yeah, we're going to purchase battery electric buses and this is what we're going to do. You got to, you have to have infrastructure. You have to have how you're going to charge these buses. You got to think about the space that it's going to require, how much power it's going to require to do it. It's not just going to be us. It's also us talking with HECO to incorporate this into it. So a lot of that is happening. So our transit fleet and facility manager, she went to this conference, and it was it's a good learning experience for us, because she brings it back and we talk about things that we need to put forward in order to incorporate battery electric buses coming here to Hilo, or to the Big Island in general. Okay, the next thing on the agenda was the Kona Transportation Hub progress. So we meet continuously with SSFM, also coordination with Lily Kalani Trust. And we're going to be starting that community outreach planning here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks, because we've identified the area that's near, or actually just below the old Kmart off of Makala Boulevard in Kona. That is the parcel that we're looking at for this transportation hub to be placed. But just a lot of coordination, and us talking also with SSFM and Lily Kalani Trust, because it isn't just going to be community buildings. There's also going to be state entity buildings there as well, in addition to our transportation hub. So a lot of coordination in regards to that. But we're looking at the community outreach to start.
That's going to be a new facility.
That'll be a brand new facility. So it's not developed yet. It's just right in front of the old Kmart right now, that parcel of land. Yeah.
The one across the street, right? The one in that hole, right?
Correct.
Right?
Yep. And it'll have good accessibility to Queen K and McCullough Boulevard, which is right there. So we're excited about that. The next one was the Pahoa Transit Hub progress. So HDOT did sign off on that CADX. So now that CADX is currently with the FTA level right now. So we're awaiting approval on that CADX. And then once that is complete, we can move to the land acquisition phase for this project in Pahoa. So we're moving forward on that one as well.
County approval, the county council approved that funding for that already.
We've also gathered grant funding, $270,000 from the federal level as well in regards to it. Yeah. So we're moving forward on it. It's taking a little bit of time. The next one on the agenda is the improvements for bus stop and bus shelter. So we've been closely working with Hawaii Department of Transportation with grant funding for this one as well. So we're looking at 10 shelters and 20 bus stops total. And so we've been working with them and identifying different locations around the island in regards to that.
Is Waikoloa part of that also?
So we have, there's a master list. And so for the grant funding, they're going to help us out with some of those on the list. But we do have a master. Do you have a specific location that you're thinking about? Waikoloa.
Yeah, because again, there's a new workforce housing that's being built now.
Okay.
So
And I was told by the senior citizens that, they need transportation within that Waikolo corridor.
And there's no bus stop essentially there.
No, there's only one stop right now, it's just the one for the apartment,
Okay,
and then the one on the highway.
okay.
And we have the new housing project.
Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you just gotta ask clarifying questions.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry.
Good feedback though. Thank you.
I'll submit something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. So we do have 8 hometown diesel buses. Put that on there as a talking point too, because we talked about it last time at this meeting. We had 8 hometown diesel buses being procured and coming inbound. Unfortunately, they've had some safety concerns. We do have one bus that is currently here in Hilo. The second bus is in Oahu. It hasn't made its way here yet. And the 7 are still in Wisconsin under construction. But the one bus that we have here, it's got some different safety issues with it. We've been talking with Hometown as well as our dealer. They've replaced some of the sway bars and different shocks on the bus, but it still hasn't improved the reliability and safety of operating the bus. So talking back with the manufacturer, we're returning the bus that we have here. So we're returning the bus. Oahu's going to do the same thing, return the bus, and they're going to go back to Hometown in Wisconsin for corrections and a way forward. Because a lot of these buses, they, especially with the federal level, they have to meet different requirements and certifications. For example, Altoona testing. They have to meet these requirements in order to be safely, to be able to operate on the roads here and transport passengers. So with these modifications that they do, maybe these buses need to go under Altoona testing. I don't know what that outcome is going to be, but this is just kind of where we are for right now, and we have to return the bus for further testing and requirements on that end. The next thing that I have is the 4 battery electric buses. Like I mentioned, 3 are here. The 4th one will be here next month. So we're super excited about that. We've been closely working with HECO. And so we do have a way forward on the charging of those buses, which is going to be, we use a company named ChargePoint. So we're going to have 2 chargers, and these are dual chargers, so we could charge 4 at the same time. So we're closely working with HECO. We're in the permitting phase right now. And then hopefully around the beginning of the year, that'll be, we'll be wrapping that up. But in the meantime, we are working internally with like a Heliox mobile charger that will charge the buses in the meantime till that is complete.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, these chargers are going to have to be 400 amp 3-phase chargers, or they're big chargers.
They're fairly big. Yeah. I mean, it comes with a power bank, and then this power bank basically will kind of just man these other 2 separate chargers that will be near it. And yeah, you can charge 4 at the same time. But with doing 4 at the same time, it'll be a smaller charge, right? Versus if you just do 1 bus at a time, it would be faster at that point. Yeah. So pretty exciting stuff for us, and as we kind of move into that direction. But looking out, 5, 6, 7 years from now, it's a much bigger project. We're going to need to be coordinating with HECO to get a bigger transformer than what we have there currently. And we're going to need more chargers. 2 is just not going to get it. So this is just us starting this whole process. But it's a lot of fun doing it. So then the last thing I got is albizia tree roots. So we had some albizia trees that have been near our parameter of where the base yard is, our 5-acre plot. You guys know albizia trees, those roots are just awful. And it's really close to our septic system, and they've been giving us problems, but we've had some just phenomenal work with DPW and within the county. And these guys have just been helping us out with getting these trees, taken care of, also coordination with folks around the area. But yeah, we've been operating just fine now, and just wanted to just also mention that in here at today's meeting. So.
Have you reached out to BISC?
Who's BISC?
Big Island Invasive Species. They handle a lot of the albizia eradication in the state.
BISK?
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So then skip to 10.
All right, I think if there's no further questions for Acting Deputy Zachary Burgum, we'll move on to the next agenda item. Or clarifying statements, I should say. Oh, we lost the commissioner. Okay. All right, well, let's move on to, we cannot move on, or there is no future agenda items since we don't have quorum to discuss. So we'll just move on to our next, or agenda 10. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 26, 2025. If hoping we can get everybody on at that time. But I think we are done.
Yeah, we're canceled.
Yeah, we are done. All
I'm
right, can
sorry,
I get
what
a
was
motion
the,
to
I'm sorry, what
close?
was the date again on that?
Sometime between those dates.
22nd.
But I'm sorry, between September 22nd and September 26th.
Okay, so it's not a confirmed date yet on which day?
No.
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right, could I get a motion to close?
No motion. We're
No
done.
motion? We're
Motion.
done. Okay. Well, thank you, commissioners that stuck around. I know this is painful, half an hour, but I so appreciate everybody being here. Thank you.
Thank you.